All right, what's good? Welcome back to another brand new episode of Renryuu. I'm your host, Freak. So today we are back at this game. It's been a minute since I played this game, and it's been a minute since I actually did this walkthrough. So it's good to be back at it. For those of you who don't know, my walkthrough, my last walkthrough was months ago, and I played it all the way up until the last update. There were tons of updates, so it's time for me to get back into and try. So let's see. It still troubles me that I couldn't help the country reduce racism in our country. I'm going around helping people, certainly help a bit, but I love to make a bigger impact on this matter. It's a complex and difficult problem, especially since it's been around for such a long time, and therefore deep ingrained in the mind of some people. In some cases, it's also simple to case of wanting to be above someone else, to be able to show your darkness side without much punishment. These people don't really hate other races for good reasons. They just use the general hatred of others, since it's allowed them to act such a terrible way. If the other people around the world around them would disagree and interfere with their racism, it would be reduced in a significant amount. I agree. That's the easiest said than done. It would, even if we were to convince some people here and there, it's necessary to reach a bigger part of the country in the real change. It's definitely something that we could take a lot of time. Yes, we need to carve a path so things go into the right direction. We should gather more information and opinion of races to the current states of the racism to inform the pronoun plan. Lana, the wife of the chief, and April was always like a mother to me, and to many other in the village. Even though, if y'all remember correctly, the chicks that was like single. The single chicks, all three of them tied the single dude, and they laid with him, and that was like messed up. But hey, we got some chicks, but that's still kind of messed up. It's sad that she heard everything a lot. Next time we in Abra, I'll just speak to her. I'm certain that it will help us in this matter. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go. So I'm gonna do her so we can sleep with Morel now. If y'all don't know. Wow, the volume. Hold on, let me turn the volume down just a little bit. Yeah. Matter of fact, so if you guys don't know, we can. I'm sorry, I just could not hear myself. We're not gonna change the volume. We're gonna just change how I listen to like that. Where Mike at? Where are you, Mike? Oh, you right here. Okay, we're gonna get through this. Okay, so then, so for those of you guys that don't know, yeah, I just couldn't hear myself. So for those of you guys that don't know, we're going to sleep with Morel finally. I didn't even think this was ever gonna come, but we're gonna finally sleep with one of the main characters, and she is ready. So first thing we gotta do is about racism. So we gotta deal with the racism card. And this is what this whole episode is gonna be about. I know I'm back at it, I'm back in it. I did basically everything you guys wanted me to do. And when y'all watch this video, I will not do anything in the comment section or answer any questions. I will literally delete your comments. Because I will get to it when I can, because I don't even know half the questions. And unless you guys can tell me through comments what to do next or how to do it, I appreciate it, but I will literally get rid of it. Okay? So this is the chief's wife. Enjoying your stay? Do you have a moment, Leanna? I always make time for you, for you. That's a typo. When you need me, child. You should know that. Yes, I do know that. I was raised to be polite and ask people before bothering them, before bothering people. Sounds like you were raised well. I wonder who is to blame for that. But can I tell that something is heavy on your mind? What troubles you, my dear? I want to do something about racism, but I don't understand it's a complex and deep problem, which is not easy or quick to solve. So I want to do my part to help. Since you're a good soul in our village, who people, oh my god, that's another typo. Who people come to when they're in trouble. I assume you might heard a lot of different stories. Maybe you can help us find a point. Where will we start for a long time situation? I'm proud. I'm so proud. My little girl is doing something like that. I remember as a small child, and now look at how tall and all grown up. How time flies. I think often racism originated in places where it's not a big mix of races exist. For example, a small village. When you don't get to know different races, every false story, every black sheep of that race you encounter will be called a prejudge. Even if there is 10 nice people from that race, if one is causing trouble, they most likely remember that bad guy more. That is so messed up. It's so true. Whoever made this game, I can't think of my man's name for the moment. You need to deal with these typos though. You need to deal with these typos. But good job. In our case, it's difficulties between humans and elves are dated a long time back, and a lot of people are still bitter about things done by our ancestors. It never made sense to me, but why they blame someone for crimes done by someone else. But as it fits what they want to believe and do, they take it. The problem about this secluded village works in other ways as well, by the way. Aaron allows us to live in peace, but being by ourselves doesn't help to solve the racism. Immense environment with different races will help people get along. By learning what others are like and helping and living with each other, the most will realize that it is not the races that matter. The biggest pictures of races is the towns to help people get along better than. And part of the problem is why people like the elves and Ibra left the town. It was systematic harassment they had to endure. For in society, the government and the army also needs to be restructured, and some more different races are in charge. The amount of unseen racism should go down. It at least is in my past. Our officials would back each other. No one would get punished for his borderline criminal actions against some races as results. But I'll do my best to change that. A less one-sided government would certainly help minorities feel safer. Luckily, even though me have a problem with racism in Central as well, it's way worse than in other countries. Ascension has driven out most of the unwanted racism a long time ago, and because they're pretty much haunting races they don't like. Ever since church grew in its influence, and Durgania, I hope I'm saying that right, has a huge slavery problem. While it's exclusively other races that are being enslaved, It's still not feel well for others there. I heard they have an elf village similar to Ambrose in the south. If I remember correctly, it's called or in that case, you still want to learn more about racism. They'll probably have a lot of interesting stories to tell. Thanks for the advice. I'll talk to them when I get a chance. So now we gotta go to the other country and we gotta hear their side. So like I said, Meryl's story is gonna be all in this whole episode. Just her ending. So we're gonna do that. And yeah, let's go to it. Also, if you guys don't know, I got to upgrade PC, so my PC ain't lagging as much as it was, just running 50 frames per second. So yeah, so let's dive right into it. So let's hurry it. Oh, sorry if I feel like I'm talking too loud. I just that I can barely hear myself. So I'm gonna just keep one earplug out. All right, so now we in the city, so we're gonna talk to the mayor. Yeah, talk to the mayor. Okay, I thought so. So we're gonna talk to the mayor, and here she is. Here comes baby girl mayor. Hello, I'm Mayor from Ascension. Pardon me, but may I ask you about the origin in Orchil? I want to help less than racism. For that, I want to know more about the problems people encounter. You want to know stuff. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my voice, Oh, by the way, did y'all know we did the last time we did those two little girls in the back? We did that off screen. Yeah. I mean, I can't say he's a pedophile because technically they're over 18. They're like 100 or something, so I can't even say, oh, yeah, Ryan is a pedophile because Ryan's not a pedophile. That's right, people. Ryan's not a pedophile. So, because they're over 100. Even though it's still not okay, but whatever. So, yeah, we did them girls. And I think they both pregnant. I think. Or whatever. You want to do something about racism. It's hard to believe that we could change something, at least here in Georgia, whatever, Georgia. But I appreciate your honest attempts to change something for the better. As a high elf with angelic features, and strong magic powers, I was never pushed over, and people didn't dare to assault me directly. But I know a lot was said behind my back. I still remember those hostile eyes looking at me when I walked through the city. Sometimes it was a subtle, a struggle, you mean? But it was always there. Some officials and merchants made things more difficult and more expensive. In the end, since a lot of the other elves had even bigger problems than I did, I decided it's best to separate ourselves. We found Orchil as an escape from all those hatred. Did the officials not care that you would build your own city in their land? In contrast, since we moved far away from the next town, they were happy that they got rid of us. As long as we don't cause them any trouble, I doubt they will bother to do anything. As it's been quite a while since this village was founded now, it's a bit late to say something against it now. Not that those bastards would hesitate to do so if it will benefit them somehow, somehow. If you want to hear more stories of the hardships we encounter, I suggest you talk to the girls in the village directly. I think it's better to hear their stories directly from them than from me. In the house of the north, with the blue roof, you can find Renryuu. I think she made a good start. How about you come back to me when we discuss what you learn wherever you've done something so well? I love to hear your thoughts on their stories and how they help you in your attempt to find a situation. Maybe we can figure something out together. Thank you. Then I'll go to the house with the blue roof now. Talk to you. With what's her name? I'm not even going to struggle my vocabulary. Why? I get y'all want to put these cute elf names, think that's cute and jazz, but wait. So is that her? Is that you, baby girl? Oh, that's not you. Is that you? Oh, that's you. Hello, I'm currently trying to find a long-term way to less slavery. I want to talk to people around about the problems they had in the past. They had in the past to understand the issues better. Would it be okay for you to tell us a bit about yourself? And have you encountered racism in the past? I guess I used to travel dance perform in different towns and on festivals. In my experience, the racism was often superficial. The same people that looked down on elves during the day often cheered at my performance in the evening. I bet they did. I look at her. She looked like a dancer. But we know what type of game this is, so I'm not even gonna get into her like that. But I want to use mirror. We're not going. I want to use mirror as much as I can. If I can't, then I'll try to find another thumbnail for this one. But at least the significant part of it. But of course, there were some more difficult people sometimes. They thought they can go ahead and try to grope and mistreat me, since the other spectators would usually not stop. Instead, just laugh at my mistake. Of course it did, baby girl. It was only thanks to the Renryuu that things never got out of hand. He's an old friend and was always around to protect me when things got ugly. He's a strong blade master, therefore people were a lot more reluctant to cause problems when she was around. She said, coming to Orchid made my life more safe and enjoyable. Since I was around only by good friends, I was standing on the stage in front of a big crowd. And I can't earn my living dancing if I stay here in the village all day. I try my best to help out in the village to earn my place here, but I still feel as a burden for the others. A better relationship between humans and elves would be a great thing. Then I could travel around. You probably shouldn't travel around there, baby girl. You probably should try about central, travel around that country and perform my dance again without worries. If performing in Gargania is not working, I'm just gonna call a different name so someone corrects me. Maybe you should come to Travel Central. Albert Stronghold and Whitton are far away. They could try to start there to see if it works out for you. We could arrange that for a travel permit to get through the border. And for your first show in those two locations, if you want to. It would be a blessing, since the towns in Gargania are far away as well. Wait a second, but Central's much further out. Oh my god. Central's much further out Especially in Witten. Witten is close to the biggest. It wouldn't even be much of a greater distance from my travel to go central. Yes, it will. Maybe your performance in central will help people to see the good side of the elves a bit more. I bet it will, baby girl. They're not wearing those scary beasts. I doubt anyone will look at us as beasts. I will talk with the commander and tell their travel department. We will do that. We will do, like I said, this is just for Miro. So anything that to do with the elves, we'll do in a later video. And Harold and Witten and Second Show. We should go back to Valeria and tell her our progress. Okay, so anything that has to do with these elves or any side quests and all that jazz, we will do that in a later video. It's not the time. Oh, that's right. She lives in this big mansion. We talked to Fira, sound right. She told us about her past as a travel dancer, and that she can't earn a living with it anymore. Ryan offered her to work in Central with the necessary permit. She can freely pass through the border. Let's solve her problem. Her shows might help people in Central see that elves aren't that at all. From what Fira told us, I know that even people that dislike elves enjoy her performance. They enjoy her performance because she's in a two-piece and she probably did like a stripper. But whatever. It might be a small thing, but I think it does bring us a bit closer and the biggest solution. I'm grateful for your help. To be honest, I was hoping for something like this. It'll be nice for Fira to can dance on the stage again. She shines like the most important performance. People should do what makes them happy. Forcing her to stop her passion properly hurts her more than any means than the humans said to her. Talking about passion, what do you plan to do in the future? Since you're putting so much effort in this matter and visiting other countries to talk about it, maybe you become an ambassador. Ambassador, I don't know if I would be a great reputation and reliable enough to take much important positive position. There were some ideas I had in the past, like becoming an art trainer or a village chief. And a while ago, I thought maybe I should make myself more useful at court. It aimed to be something like a head aim, helping coordinating people. But a certain someone turned my world upside down, and now my future is rather uncertain. I think I'll go with the flow for now and see where it takes me. An interesting approach. I wish the best of luck to you. I assume you're quite as good with the bow if you use it to think about becoming an archer trainer. In that case, you shall talk with the Danny next about racism. He's one of the best archers and knows a lot about bows. He usually runs around somewhere outside in the village. Her hair is white and she has long ponytail. Okay, thank you. At least you're describing these chicks, because I meet these chicks all the time and I don't know what they look like. I mean, I don't know their names. But if y'all don't know what you're talking about, for some reason y'all get lost or whatever, just go to the Elf Street. They all right here. You can literally pull it up like this. Alright. Let's talk about her right here. Baby girl right here. And she normally stands right here. I hope the tribe's elves are doing well. They are good people. Oh, that's right. So if you don't know, we took the dark skinned, well, more like the Native American elves. We're gonna call them Native American elves. We took them to Central to live on the farm and they do stuff for us on the farm. Stuff. I want to talk to the. I'm talking to the villagers one by one to talk about their past and how racism affected them. I know what to find a way to reduce the racism in our country. You're not even from this country, baby girl. Stop talking. We want to learn more about it. I know what cause. I gladly help where as much as I can. I used to be a hunter in the north of Dorgania, Burnus country, where nature is more widespread. It has a flourish more than deeper inside the Dorgania, where everything is just tame. Everyone was allowed to hunt. Several other hunters worked in that area, but I was mostly successful. Oh damn, I'm sorry, I didn't skip that. Damn. Even though I did nothing wrong, they kept accusing me of crimes or other things to keep me from hunting. When it became too bad, I gave up and admitted defeat. And all of a sudden, after I stopped hunting, my guard had no more interest. Then I tried to work as a merchant. Because of my experience as a hunter, I wanted to sell self-made bows and maintain hunting equipment. But the guards had started to enjoy bothering me. It came to check up on me again. Even though selling bows didn't require a special permit or anyone similar, it was suddenly highly illegal when I did it. They went as far as to accuse me of providing weapons for rebels and wanted to throw me into prison for a very long time. I'm glad they did. Damn, look at her face. Her face turned like that, like a snap on the, like, I'm sorry, y'all can't see me, so like a flick of like a switch. And she ready to kill. And those fucking ignorant brain soldiers were only good for causing problems for others. When they actually try to fight, they quickly learn how weak they are. I still get furious when I remember their smug smile when they tried to arrest me. I guess who wasn't smiling anymore when I was done with them. Yeah, baby girl, relax, You still look good though. Baby girl do look good. Long hair, boobs, butt. Yeah. My type of woman. Needless to say, I had to run away and hide after what I did to those fools. I might still be a wanted criminal if they haven't forgotten about it by now. She seems to be dangerous when she's pissed off. Said, I noticed you carrying a rather unique looking bow around. Might I take a look at it? You mean this old bow? It's a keepsake. The last thing I have from my father. Oh dear, if it's something so important, you should take better care of it. It wouldn't be better to repair it. Wouldn't it be better to impair and improve the bow so that it actually help you in your journey? It's only a suggestion, but with the right material, I can help you with it and show you how it's done. That way you can take care of it yourself the next time. I'd be overjoyed if you could do that. Wood is high, wood has a high quality, but it doesn't seem to be from around here. Where was the bow made? It was with my hometown. The bow was made there. Then, and you should use the wood from there to repair as well. Can you bring me a bit? I have everything else we need here. Of course, I surely asked the chief to give me some of the wood from the forest. Okay, so we actually had to do that mission just to get to her, just to get up there to her level. But we should go back to Valera first. But first, we're gonna do this racism thing. We're going to get out the way because we're gonna be talking to a lot of different women about racism. Okay. Ryan knows about that. Ryan's like a black dude. He's like the dad told us. The dad told us about what happened. Her past as a hunter in the north during Ania. I felt bad for what they did to her there, but sadly, it doesn't help me find the solution. I think I still need to learn more about the problems with your villagers have. It's a difficult problem. I'm not surprised you have found a solution in one or two conversations. What about Lorenz? Do you want to share your story next? Oh, Lorenz look good. I thought you would never ask. But in my case, the trouble I had were mostly on my own fault. I'm bisexual, which is already enough to upset some people. But I also don't know how to hold myself back when I see a nice target. Bruh, okay. We gotta get in them cheeks. Not in this episode though, not in this episode. And right now we are about Morel and her issues. For some reason, people are not very open-minded when you make a move on their lover or partner. Yeah, I could tell. I could tell. I didn't even want sex most of the time. Just a bit of skin. In order to keep my virginity while also enjoying myself, I fooled around a lot of girls until a soldier caught me in bed with his newlywed wife. Oh my god! I don't even want to hear. I don't even want to hear the rest of this, but we got to. Of course, I was rated as a dirty slut. Brandon's a dirty slut, and a dangerous woman after that. And the soldiers gained up against me to bully to the city. Sorry about that. Understandable though. I still feel bad about ruining a happy marriage just to get a bit of fun. I tried to get close to Elves afterwards in the hopes of forming a longer relationship this time, but it never worked out. I made several moves on. I bet you did. Look how thick she is. For example, but that thick head never realized that I had a romantic intention. Maybe it's my fault for not making it clear from the start. And I don't want to be only friends. What do you think? Is it wrong for someone to desire your own gender? Or to find with either? Well, I guess as long as the feelings are being honest, I bet you would say that. If you guys remember, Dee and Mira was in the hot springs together. And because they was in hot springs together, they was in hot springs together, on each other, kissing each other, touching each other in the hot springs. And you know, and the hot springs supposed to bring people close together, but it wasn't like Legend of Heroes close together. No, 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 no. It was like, you know, where they just, you know, became closer as people. No, it was like they became doing it. Yeah. But no, no, seriously, that's what happened. If I'm being honest, there should be no problem unless it hurts someone you're close to. It should be fine to enjoy yourself. So you'd be fine to sleep with other women as long as your hubby doesn't mind? Yes, that. Wait, we're not married yet. Oh, but you seem to have someone in your mind. If you say yet, I think we're dealing with a dripping further away from the topic at hand. Yes, we are. Yes, we are married. The conclusion from Ledger's story might be a bit that we have to do our part, have to cause trouble as well, if we can't to live together in peace. And now, take a step back, please, lenders. Lyrandus, you suddenly feel a bit close after what I just heard. Don't play so hard. A playful wink, and she replies only. Anyway, try to speak with Hellas because she's over in the kitchen. Okay, at least they told us. Maybe if you ask her who you should talk with next. I get the feeling that this will take forever if we discuss every single conversation we had. You can come back when you think you figure it out and want to discuss with me. Thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God. And you want us to be busy and then you respect Calista as well. That's a clear message that you want us to get. Come along, right? My heart start racing. I'll send them away so that I can strangle you. Alright, baby girl, what's up? Feeling hungry? Do you have a moment to talk? Oh, that's right. I guess a lot of these women been in my thumbnails more than once. They might come back, but who knows? Tell us about your past. We want to learn more about the racism that people in this village have to endure for coming here. My past? Most problems I had with several harassment was sexual harassment. Since I like to wear revealing clothes. That's your problem, baby girl. You let me wear revealing clothes, so they're gonna do sexual harassment. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say it how it is. If you wear revealing clothes, it's gonna happen to you. But continue. Some people thought it was an invitation to touch my body. And since I'm only an elf, the guards in the bystanders often wouldn't care to help. I also certainly had people that complained about my food when I worked as a cook in Kaja. But why is y'all working in the why is y'all doing stuff for this country? This country sucks. Y'all have slaves still. That's not even elves or nothing. They're regular people. They're slaves. Some even spit it out when they heard it was made by an elf. But when they didn't know who cooked it or thought someone else made it, they praised the taste. I wanted to make people happy with my tasty food, but they made it really tough to challenge. In the end, I was replaced by someone who wasn't even a good cook, just to avoid the complaints of racist customers. An elf like you might be able to hide her ears and people wouldn't realize, but with a dark blue-skinned color, it's easy to tell that I'm no human. Yes, it's very easy to tell. But I took it with a composure. It was their loss. And I'm sure some of the people that tasted my food before missed it after I left. Someday I create a dish so delicious that no one will care to made by now. And they'll excuse themselves for everything they said and did in the past. Sounds like an unrealistic dream, doesn't it? But such an ambitious goal motivates me. I try hard to better myself every day. Luckily, all the people in orchards love my food, especially the Viola, who often sneaks into the kitchen to ask for a second helping when everyone else is gone already. Unless she is on the diet again. I think she is on the fourth diet at the moment. The fourth one is weak. Is weak. Doesn't even seem to gain any weight, but for whatever reason, he is very worried about it. Maybe the reason is somewhere in her past. How about you bring her pastries for me, and you can start a conversation about it. Well done. Ah, damn. Damn. Okay, so like I said, I don't know where she's at. Let's see what she looks like. Damn. So like I said, just come over here, go to Elves. If you can't find it, I think it's her right here. If you can't find her, like me, just go here and see it matches. So that's what she look like. Now the question is where she's at. Now we're gonna find out where she's at. I think she's in this house. Yeah, she's in this house. And there she is. Damn, baby girl look up. You don't look like she gained weight. Unless it's in her chest and butt, but whatever. It has suddenly become a lot quieter ever since the Randy and her tribe has left the village. Alyssa asked us to bring you these pastries. Thank you, but I shouldn't. Viola was troubled and explains that she doesn't even want this while she intensely takes a pastry out from Mira's hand and starts to take a few bites out of it. Her resolution doesn't seem very strong. Why are you so troubled when it comes to food? I'm trying to diet, but every time I eat less, I get incredibly hungry, eat more than usual later as a result. Yeah, I feel you on that one. It seems like an endless circle that I can't escape. With such a slim body, I don't see why you need to diet. Did you use to have more weight, or you're scared to fall back into this state? No, I don't. Wow, bro, I'm surprised you able to tell a woman that. Did you used to be fat? Bravo. Hold up. Let's give Ryan. Let's give Ryan the big hand. Yeah, I'm playing with a controller, by the way, when I'm playing this PC game. So, but let's give Ryan the big clap. But I can't clap because I'm actually holding the controller. Because no man I know who ever do it, and she's okay with it. No, I don't think I was any fatter as this at any point. But there was a guy I used to be interested in a long time ago. A human. Yeah, close. But his friends pressured him to stop seeing me because of my race. His friends could call me names. I did my best to ignore them, but it was so obvious and pleasant to endure it almost every day. In the end, I think they finally convinced their friend who liked me to ties with me, to cut his ties with me. When we met again, he was all by himself. I thought we could finally enjoy a moment ourselves and get closer. Instead, he started to insult me and laugh at me, make fun of me. How stupid did I have to be? If I believed even for a second that he could care about such a fat pig as me. I can't remember what the issue of his friends used to call me, but his words were never fade from my memory. I was never hurt so much in my life. Now every time I eat, I remember those words and feel insecure about my body. I think he actually meant, well, when he said that, huh? He wanted you to hate him so that you can move on from him instead of chasing after him. Because of the situation, chasing after him would only cause you more pain. I think he called you fat pig, believing that you would realize that nothing is wrong with your body, and you get over the shock. If he really wouldn't have cared about you being an elf, he would have used a different issue. And if he had no problems looking at your body before, there's no reason why he'd suddenly hate you. Oh my, that actually makes sense. Or is it just what I want to believe now? I'm so confused. Patience while thinking about your words. Well, Ryan's words. You don't think there's anything wrong with my body? It's perfect. I agree. You have a very beautiful body, Cirilla. You should be proud of your beauty. Does it seem to entirely convinced, but she takes more food from the table? It seems that if at least the topic of diet is done for now. I think we learned something from your story. The effect of peer pressure and how dishonest words can be misunderstood if you don't talk about it. Maybe I need to collect my thoughts. Then we'll leave you alone for now. Just one last thing. Do you know who we can talk to learn more about racism against elves? Pretty much everyone in this village. There's in the room over there, if you don't mind her eccentric attitude. You can talk to her. Thanks. Wait, can we smash her? Can we smash? Hold on, let's check. Can we smash? Like I said, the only elves I smashed from this group is, these. Okay, I didn't smash her yet, but I'm gonna smash. But everybody else, okay, we can't smash. Cool, we can smash. Yeah. We can even smash the mayor. That's awesome. Okay. Did you come to look at my most wonderful? She don't look out. Did you come to look at the most wonderful woman in this country again? I can understand that it's hard to look away from me, but please don't get addicted. Sorry to bother you. Please, no, we're not bothering her. The only thing we bother is that damn ego. But can you tell us a bit about your past, especially and how you encounter racism against you? Usually I don't really care about pejorative words from strangers, since I know that I'm the greatest and no matter what others say. But I felt very assured when they had a beauty contest in my town. That was voted out of the second round. Oh, prettiest. It was difficult to because of racism, but there's no way this would have happened in the village of Elve or without those racist degenerates. I want to hold a new contest in different towns later to prove that they were wrong and no one listened to me. The arrogance that they thought only fellow humans could be crowned as the most human. Ignore me so much that I can decide to leave them behind. Who needs people that are too blinded by their race to see the beauty of the goddess right in front of them? Maybe we could hold a new contest. No, we cannot. Do not encourage this girl ego. Do not encourage this girl ego. That ego is stroking. He's stroking that ego hard, ain't you, baby girl? If all villagers are elves, it would be a fair, just jury, right? Or one side or the other, to the other direction. Based on what we learned so far about racism, should we at least try to have a mixed jury and contestants? It wouldn't be much of a contest if you made it easy for her. How about you talk with Crane about it as an architect? She seems to have many places as a good cottage. I'm certain that if she wants to, she could organize the contest and rather the jury and contestants. As for your story about racism, how about? I'm sure her story is more interesting than my problem. And that's perfect. Oh my god. So we gotta talk to baby girl next. I think I know where she is. So if you follow this, I'm gonna call it racism 101 or something, the problem of racism or whatever. I think that's you, right? Here to join my company? Or do you have some work for me? I'm always ready for everything. Say, would you have ever been affected by racism? Is that a joke? Which elf hasn't? Apart from ignorant children that never left their village. I'll tell you how it was that I was affected. All I wanted to do was be a merchant. Sell stuff, get coins, very simple. I always liked money. I bet you, that gone probably tells it all. Oh wow, okay. I don't know how long I've been doing this, but whatever. I always want money. It was mostly certain that I'd become the greatest merchant but the officials had a problem with my appearance and denied me the purchase to open up the shop. They refused everything I wanted to do to earn my living. They wanted me to be a mindless worker from others, so that the humans own the money and property while exploiting the others. Exploiting the others, that's a typo. Since I couldn't secure a stable form of income, I started to steal stuff. I would rather sacrifice to take away from people that mistreat me before. To take away from the arrogance and selfish people became my new profession and passion. It turned out to be quite good at it as well. And now someone who organized stuff for poor and helpless people. It might be petty. They use the word petty. Petty form of revenge. Fight evil with evil. But if only we played fair, nothing will be won either. and they don't know there's a problem. They continue to stop caring about the suffering of others. So I make sure to feel the pain and hit them where it bothers them most, in their wallet. Thank you for telling us your story. Do you know anyone else in the village who could tell you about their past to learn more about racism? I think they're interested in or less temporary experience. We already talked to those two. Then how speak with Don Delari next. She used to hands around at the book. I'm sorry, I meant to read it, but I just did. I'm sorry. I swear, she should know all of them by heart by now, given how often she stopped and looked through the book. Okay, what's up turn next? Thank you. No problem. Alright. Oh boy. This is long. I feel it's long. I can't look at the time because but it's so long. Granted, my name is Stanley. I'm a dark elf scholar of alchemy and magic. Are you also here to learn about magic? This store has some of the very nice books. You should take a closer look at what's displayed. We came here to talk about your past, and if you were ever misjudged or suppressed in any way because of your race. There was a time in the past where I traveled to other countries and learned more about magic. Of course you went to that country. Of course you did. I'm gonna guess seemed like a good choice, since they value magic much higher than any other country. You ain't lying about that. I thought I'd be able to learn a lot of new things there, but it was a disaster. They refused to exchange knowledge with an elf, even accused me of attempting to spy on them. I never left a country faster running for my life. Things turned out not to be much better. The church refused to let me look in their book. In many stories, they refused to even tell me. The entire journey was without much benefit. All I got was the experience of how terrible some people and locations are. In Dorgania, even though we have more than enough races as well, you usually can get everything you need as long as you have enough coin for it. There are a lot of they put people in racism. You see all those black people in racism? Come on now. A lot of barbaric soldiers. This opens a lot more doors even for an elf. Luckily, as a scholar, I was able to use my knowledge to learn a good amount of gold in the past. Thank you for your story. We're currently trying to learn more about racism, to find a way to do something against it. What a grand thing, such a noble cause you follow. I'm impressed. It's always good to learn more and use that knowledge to improve something. If only more could follow your example. I wish there was a book for books I can recommend you for this topic, but I doubt they're much more helpful. Most that write about racism do so after a terrible experience, deal with their hatred, and that bitterness can often sting that. Hearing stories of people is a good way, but you should talk with a lot of people so that you can differ between objective truth and personal opinion. If possible, it's also always a good to hear both sides of the story, if there is a clear second party. Good advice, thanks. Shouldn't you have spoken with her yet? You could talk with Elende to hear her story. I'm not sure how much she has affected by humans, but she's spending all her time in nature instead of associating with other people. To be honest, I'm worried about her son. Got it. We'll speak with her. Actually, matter of fact, the only thing we do with her is. Are you looking for anything in particular? It's shop at her shop when we need to. Oh, we're not talking to you yet? Okay. Who we talking to? It look like? Guys, I know we've probably been here for a good minute, so you know, if you feel like if you just here to look for where these elves at, you know. Oh, she's in the forest. Okay, that's what you look like, that's baby girl. I used to look for my thumbnails one time, ain't it? Okay, so you know, like I said, this whole video is gonna be straight about morale and racism. So you know, we're gonna be talking to a lot of people, a lot of different people about it. Trust me. If I skim through it, it's not that bad. But because I'm reading this stuff and I have to listen to these long stories, it's just the only real beauty of this world. You heard that you spend most of your time alone in the forest. Is there some story in your past that leads to this? Well, I don't know. I simply figured out that I'm happier by myself, surrounded by nature that I love so much. The reason why I moved here, the big city, and lifeless desert, always looked disgusting and ugly to me. Nothing beats the beauty of a colorful forest. I don't really have a problem with other people, but I know that I'm happier this way, so why should I change it? I'm the one that had to take care of my own happiness. Somehow, extrovert always seems to be always seems to think it's bad that I would suffer for being alone. But I'm absolutely fine. And when I feel the need for company, I ask Kara to join me for a walk through the forest. She is similar to me and has other reasons. If you want to hear her story so badly, maybe you should talk to her. Her past is a bit more interesting than mine. Oh boy. What she look like? Okay. What she look like? Oh god. Alright, what's her name? Alright, so honestly, I don't know how these girls look like, so I have to that's a tug. I don't know what some of these girls look like, so I have to like literally come back here when I don't know. Alright, okay, I know she looks. Okay. She's that girl that jumps at you. Or at least look like she jumps at you. So yeah, so you know, I you know, like I said, I'm reading through some of these stories. There she is. Need my help? I can protect you from wild beasts. If you're scared to go through the forest by yourself. Hello, Sarah. Eleanor told us you might have an interesting story to tell. Did you have troubles in your past? Geez, what did that flower head say about me again? I hope she didn't say too much. She only told us that your past might be more interesting for us than her own. We want to learn more about your racism. and hope that you can tell us about your experience. These experiences are so depressing. It's crazy. Like I'm literally depressed for these people. I don't really like to talk about it, but if that's your reasoning, I'll make an exception for it. A long time ago, I moved from the north to the south of Dorgania. The desert can be dangerous, especially when you're alone as a woman. I look, and as a fine woman too. I looked in a bar for traveling companions and found a group with same goal as me. The group consists of 3 human men. Oh, baby, good. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good. I felt safe with them since men were really muscular. During the journey, I learned more about them, and we built up our trust into each other. But halfway through the desert, we made a detour to a camp near the Oyster. I didn't realize it soon enough, but it was a camp of traveling slaves. 3 men from the group betrayed me in the wolf. Oh, and we were over with, and our hands resting before. From their conversation, I learned that it was planned from the start that they bring new slaves to the slavery. After they got their payment and headed back to the north to try to find more victims. Money greedy, crook, cunts. During the night, I couldn't sleep since all the worries of the things that happened to the slave have kept me awake. I thought it was almost given that I'd be deflowered by a bunch of dirty slavery instead. But for some miracle, a wolf they must have captured in the same day managed to escape from his cage. And he found his way into my tent. I was worried he might be hungry and take a bite of it. Since I was restrained, I was completely helpless. The wolf, however, seemed to have a sense of my misery and compassion for someone that was captured by the same guy. Instead of hurting me, he bit through the rope and restrained me. Since I was free now, I wanted to help the wolf girl who was captured together with me, but I couldn't steer anymore. In the end, the wolf guided me out of the camp, and that's how I managed to escape from Renryuu. Ever since that day, I found it's hard to trust you and feel connected to the animals. Animals in this forest have never betrayed me, contrary me to some people. That's why they have my loyalty. Also, the reason I like Renryuu so much. She's an elf like me, but with an animalistic feature. Her fluffy ears are so cute. Renryuu, she could also be a good person, softer into her usual appearance. I had to count slavery even from the other two. Thank you for opening up to us. Telling your story. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Don't go around and tell anyone about it. They use a fake name for me if you want to look about it. Oh no, baby girl, we're not finna do that. We're not finna do that at all. Damn. I don't know what this girl look like, so we're gonna go to the map real quick. Y'all can skip through this, like I said, because I am doing all this in one video. Alright, what's the gun name? Alright, let's see if we can find it. Alright, let's see if we can find this. Alright. Alright, I know who she look like. No. Ooh, man, the story about racism is it's dark and long. It's the same story at the same time. It's the same story. I think it's her wanna play with us? I didn't speak to you. I didn't speak with you. 'Cause you're different than the other elves. I was wondering if you have any bad experience with people acting mean towards you. Most people are curious when they see me. They're careful but interested in what they don't know or understand. Of course, idiots call me names, things like monster and abomination, but I don't see why I should care about opinions op- opinions about of strangers anyway. I ignore them and did my best to enjoy my life. I can't change the way I am anyway, so I don't understand why they even complain about it. It's just something everyone needs to accept. And I love my apprentice. Even if I could change it, I refuse. Appearance, ooh. Ooh, man, I'm tired. All that matters is that I can have fun and play with my friends. Hopefully one day everyone will accept what they are and what others are, and everyone can play together. Yes, that is a wonderful thing. And don't you think so too, Santa? Maybe. I spent almost my entire life here in Orchel, and I have barely any experience with people with other races. Sorry about races that do evil things. The elves are scaring me a bit, but I always very curious about the world out there. Let's explore together one day, and we can gather a lot more alchemy components from my experiment. We can't have conversation about any type of alchemy popping up. Alchemy is important cornerstone of our modern civilization. We need to learn more about it to advance into the next era. So you guys look like adventurers. You travel around a lot, right? Can you help a young alchemist and provide me some materials from distant places? There are a lot of stuff I can't get around here. For example, how would I know about the things that I don't have here? Oh, so, told me some castle in Vegas that's a great shop that I should visit one day. I think it's called something like the Dominus. Yes, Dominus Castle, of course. In return, I can figure out something nice. I'll give you some of the potions and the recipes. I'll think about it. We learned a lot from different forms that kinds of elves and racism and progress. I think we're done. All that is left is to report back. Oh, thank God, baby girl, because me and my plans is getting tired. It's a great cause and all, and I appreciate the cause. Trust me, I do, because I'm a black man. But baby girl, we need to chill out. We talked to many different villagers and go to hear a lot of different stories from with a variable ways of how racism affects them in the past. Some stories are rather tragic, but I think there were a lot different that we leave spare from hope. Hope that we can change things somehow. I'm relieved to hear that all these stories about a hardship hasn't made you give up your goal. If you need any help, you can always feel free to come back here. I'll do everything I can to support this matter. And I bet most of the other villagers will do too. Thank you. Due to the diverse form that racism can appear in. It doesn't have a simple solution, but I know that already from the start. In the end, there are many problems and misunderstanding we need to take care of by one to bring people closer together. You and everyone in this village have my gratitude for your help. Now it's my turn to figure out how and where to start. Good luck. Alright. Wait, only Trey got a level up? What? Oh boy. Okay, never mind. He was at level. Okay. Alright, now we just gotta do one more thing before we finish her story. And that is get the elf. Let's get the wood from the elf so we can fix Morel's bow. We gotta go back to the village, talk to the chief about getting the wood, and then we fix that, then everything should be good. Oh, chief, sorry to bother you for this, but do you have some wood from the same type as my old bow was made? Sure, but is this your father's old bow? Yes, I want to repair and improve it so that it lasts a keepsake. I have with my parents doesn't wear down and crumble in pieces at some point. Commendable. I still remember the day your father made this bow. A very, very long time ago. He was a great friend. I still miss him. It makes me happy to see that his daughter has turned out into such a fine lady and enjoys her life. I couldn't have wished for this more if we decided to raise you. When your mother was sick, I knew her life was ending soon. The only thing on her mind was how to ensure that you could grow up and live a happy life. I'm certain they both be enjoyed to know that you become. Thank you. Now go get the damn wood. Here, this shall be enough wood to repair your bow. Carry it with pride. I will. I don't know what else you could do right now. Come back later if you have time. Yeah, thank you. God. Alright, we don't even gotta worry about that because all we can do is fast travel. Alright, so now we talk to baby girl right here. We got the necessary wood from Abron to repair the bow. That's good news. I'm also ready. If you want, you can take care of it immediately. With pleasure. Alright, Cedric and Mary even use magic to enhance the bow beyond what it normally would be possible and make it fit rails reply. Thank you for your help and guidance. It really means a lot. Helping each other, that should be normal. And I know if I ever need your help, I can count on you the same. Just remember to take good care of the bow from now on. If you return to me a few years with a broken wood bow, I'll get mad. Oh, don't worry, that won't happen. Good. Oh, did you mean it too? Okay, so we finally finished that. But now we're almost done. We're almost done. It fills my heart with pure joy when I look at the repair of my old bow and my deceased father. You know what also makes my heart excited is you and everything you keep doing for me. I'm always happy when you look at me and spend some time with me. If possible, can we have a private moment in your room? It's been a while since we got a chance to get a bit intimate. Mary doesn't need to ask you twice. You take her hand and walk it. Man, you should have carried her in the room. Alright. Maybe. I just like this art style. Alright. If y'all guys don't know, like I said, okay, this one. Alright, so this might be our thumbnail right here, this one. So I'm finna skip and come right back. You know how it is. Okay, so I'm back. So yeah, that's it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, comment down below. Next time we're gonna try to do like I said, we're gonna try to do all finish Abra and Ascension. I think Caroline, the baby dragoness, got some too. So we're gonna do that. You know, we're gonna try. You know, we're gonna get her pregnant too. Yes, I know we're gonna do that. And yeah, until next time, y'all be easy. Whew.